Hello people of YouTube, it's Deepak here, and welcome to the DCS news for the 23rd of March 2024. I hope you all enjoyed that, my most recent video in my F-15E Strike Eagle series, all about the air-to-air radar BVR, or Beaver modes, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Next week I'll be doing the... Well, actually, no, that's part of the channel announcement. I'm going straight into telling you nonsense. Next week I'm on vacation, so I might try to get a tutorial recorded before I go, but that may or may not be possible. But whenever I manage to get the next tutorial up, it will be air-to-air radar within visual range modes, and those are the auto-acquisition modes, which I hinted at today but did not demonstrate. Welcome to the stream, Whiskey Dale, Colin Kelly, Paul Cope, Orleans Junkie, Paul Dillon, Only Napalm, Tog, Pink Floyd, Eagle Wings, Frantic Stone, Storm Kimbarry, welcome, Mark S. Yeah, Frantic thought I pressed my soundboard there. He uses in Discord quite a lot a soundboard of me doing my intro, and it's strange. It's very strange. And yes, Frantic, you should do more VAF videos. I've found, we're going tangential here. I've found a really good method of recording in VR at last. That's the reason I've not been doing so much of this kind of live content for quite some time, because all my tutorial videos are done in 2D mode, in flat screen world, because that's just easier. But I have found a really good plugin for OBS, which now records in VR in very nice real time, and it even does like a kind of aspect. I don't even know how it does it, because it seems to... You would expect it to stretch the image because it puts it to normal widescreen, but the results are actually good and they don't look stretched. So my poor smooth brain doesn't quite understand what it's doing, but it's doing something good. And I've already recorded a couple of videos in it. I may do some VAF content or ground crew content using that method. So yeah, very exciting. Griffnizzle, so apparently never trust Chiz and or Russian translation of the forums. Export Fulcrum confirmed. Yes, yeah, it's apparently a 9-12A, but it's the good export version. It's the Warsaw Pact export version, so that's okay. Welcome to the stream, JP Gibbons. Yes, you forgot Sean I Am. Oh no, terribly sorry. Glad that you're able to join the news. Welcome, Chandler Hedgevald. What else is going on here? Eric Johnson. I'm going to have to check that out. Can you post the OBS VR plugin link? Maybe, or maybe I can just tell you which one I'm using. I don't know. Actually, the thing is, I'm using OBS right now for the stream, so I'm worried if I click around too much, we might suddenly go dark. So, yeah, let me do a post. Let me do a YouTube post after this stream, and I will link directly to it. That's going to be the easiest thing, and is the most likely way of not disturbing the stream. Eagle Wings, it'd be great if you could share the new trick with OBS. I will. I'll write a post on exactly this after the fact. It's kind of amazing. Like, it actually works. Give me one moment, in fact, and I will see if I can rustle up a little example of the kind of output that generates, because I think it's well worth taking a peek at. Let me see, what's going to be the best way of doing this? I guess if I drop this straight into my browser and then share my browser window. Yeah, so here we go. Take a little peek at this and tell me what you think. This is me doing some air-to-air combat with one of the VAF fellows. Yeah, this is actually, to my eye, tell me what you all think. This looks really good.
That seems to work.
And I guess it must be stretched, but it doesn't look particularly stretched.
Leveling out Angels 20, and then make sure your switches are set, and we can go fights on.
Alright, okay, we want to jump this a little bit, actually. This is actually the wrong video. This isn't the one I was intending to show. There's one where where we actually shoot at each other, and it's pretty cool. But anyway, let me know what you think of this. I could potentially produce some content like this, if it would interest people, and it doesn't make people sick having the shaky cam. Brilliant, says Eagle Wings. Well, I'm glad that you're impressed. I thought it turned out pretty good. So yeah, I could use this for recording VAP sessions and the like. It could end up being pretty good. I think this is maybe the section where I get killed. We were doing some practice air to air, and I think I get shot down. It's me dumping flares all over the shop. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's get back to the main event. But yes, I'll share a quick post on exactly how I did that later. Air to air in the Harrier. Yeah, well, it was with another Harrier, so this was just general practice. There's a way of removing the shake, says Frantic Stone. How? I don't understand how that would work. Ryan McGee, resolution is good. Frame stabilization needs work. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. I was kind of thinking to myself, how would you remove the shake? Because like it's present in the actual mirror, but of course you're talking about frame stabilization. Yeah, of course, if you took a smaller sample of the video and then stabilized that, then yes, you could of course take out the shake. I hadn't thought of that. Almost certainly I could implement a kind of video pipeline that did something like that. It stabilizes for you as well. So, oh no, I don't want stabilized video when I'm trying to do fast head movements in VR. That doesn't sound good. But frame stabilization, as Ryan is suggesting, I'd be more on board with that. That's a post-processing that you could definitely do. Anyway, we've have lots of asides. This is very, very interesting, and thank you, chat, for contributing, but we should probably jump on with the news. Pet Hell says OpenXR Toolkit has a tool for reducing shaking. Yeah, I've seen that, but again, I don't want my VR to have kind of shaking reduction, because I feel like that's then going to add like a kind of lag and a smoothing to my head movements that I really don't want, and I don't know what that would do to, like, I don't know if that would make me sick. Because if you're moving your head around in VR and there's even the slightest hint of lag, which is what smoothing is effectively going to do, I don't think that would be good for me. So yeah, I'll take a look at frame stabilization though. In any case, without any further ado, let's jump straight into this week's Eagle Dynamics newsletter. We have some interesting and exciting stuff going on right now, both in the newsletter and coming at us from Heatblur. So, dear fighter pilots, partners, and friends, it is with great excitement that we officially announce DCS Mig-29A Fulcrum. This remarkable Soviet Union-era fighter will be a full-fidelity module based on a photogrammetry cockpit of the exported variant supplied to the Warsaw Pact countries. The Mig-29A will be by far the most authentic and accurate simulation of this iconic aircraft for PC. Frantic Stone, but in real life, your eyeballs do that for you, and the VR headset is taking that away. Not really. Your eyes are still doing that inside the VR headset. You're not like bypassing your eyes when you're in VR. You're still using your eyes. So no, sir. I think you're talking nonsense. Eric, that's fantastic. Thanks. Concur on the shaking. It's a very different experience for the VR wearer versus someone watching the recording. Tog, it's not a tornado. It's very much not a tornado, although it's a similar era. DCS Afghanistan map by Eagle Dynamics is progressing at full throttle, with significant milestones achieved since the project's inception. The progress report below provides a good overview, along with post-early access release plans. The DCS Spring Sale 2024 is in its final hours, and you can still benefit from the amazing deals until the 24th of March at 1500 GMT. Please enjoy this opportunity to upgrade your collection of aircraft, terrains, tech packs, and campaigns with up to 50% savings. Thank you for your passion and support. So yeah, that sale is ending tomorrow at the time of this stream. JP Gibbons, hitting the like button is just as hard as lifting a pint. Sorry for the pimp. VR hit my middle ear in vertigo settings. Oh dear. Nice. Alrighty. Mig-29A Fulcrum announcement. Our Mig-29A NATO codename Fulcrum will be the export modification of the A version that was supplied to the Warsaw Pact countries. Actually, quick quiz for chat. Can anybody tell me what the Soviet/Warsaw codename was for the Mig-29? Because I can't remember. Oh my! Thank you very much, Frantic Stone. That's very very kind of you indeed. Lots more members of Deep Hack's ground crew. Thank you ever so much. And yeah, this is probably the perfect opportunity to remind you all to subscribe, like, and comment. We've just whizzed past 10.2 thousand subscribers. And of course, the more of you subscribe, the higher up in the search results and the better treated I am by the YouTube algorithm. So it really is appreciated if you can hit that magical little button for me. Doesn't cost you anything. Yeah, thank you very much. One of us. Yeah, so let me know if anyone knows the actual Russian or Soviet code name for the MiG-29. The MiG-29A can operate day or night and in all weather conditions. Its radar is capable of look-down, shoot-down in a heavy electronic countermeasures environment. The weapons control system consists of two complexes, the fire control radar and the optical electronic targeting navigation system. The OETNS includes an optical electronic sighting system, a navigational system, a weapon control system, a unified display system, and multifunctional control panels. The OEPS includes an optical location station that consists of an infrared search and track and laser rangefinder, and a helmet-mounted sight designation system. The MiG-29 is one of those early aircraft that has the ability to effectively visually lock aircraft and actually engage them without using the radar. Okay. Spellsword91 says, I think the Soviets liked the name Fulcrum. Yep, that may well be the case. I know that more modern Russian aircraft do use codenames. So, of course, in the case of the Su-27, I think in Russian it's called the Crane. Whereas, of course, we call it the... what do we call it again? The Flanker. I now need to look this up. Did the MiG-29 have a codename in Russian service? Actually, it kind of looks like it didn't. They just mentioned the NATO reporting name being Fulcrum. So yeah, maybe they didn't have a name for the MiG-29, and as you say, they just adopted the NATO one. They liked the sound of it. The East German Fulcrum. Yes, yeah, we're effectively getting an East German Fulcrum. Ramsky for the R-77, indeed. I don't know if this version carried the R-77. So yeah, I guess we'll find out. The MiG-29 is equipped with the SPO-15 Beryoza radar warning receiver defense system that is designed to warn of radar-directed weapon attacks. It's kind of rubbish, but anyway, it's what they had. To protect against infrared-guided weapons, the MiG-29A features flare dispensers. The navigation system consists of onboard navigational equipment, a vertical and heading information complex, and an airborne signal system as part of the optical electronic targeting navigation system. RW Hunt 99, the brain sees through the eyes and makes its own adjustments, pro and con, with very interesting results. Mark S, East German Fulcrum. Okay. Very, very good. Key features of the DCS module, Mig-29A Fulcrum. At early access release, we're going to get a fully interactive and highly detailed cockpit that is based on 3D laser scanning and photogrammetry. We're going to get a highly detailed and accurately reproduced external model, highly detailed pilot model, in-depth study of aircraft systems and equipment, detailed model of the navigation system with the gyro platform reference system, air data computer, and navigational equipment. We'll get the defensive equipment to include the SPO-15LM Beryoza and the flare dispenser, fire control radar with authentic modes for aerial targets, the OETNS with modes for air and ground targets. Then at final release, we'll get the addition of the IFF system and the ground control intercept system, which I guess is going to be similar to what we have seen Razbam demonstrating in the MiG-23. So, all very, very exciting. Tog, I'm going to go with my initial guess. Russians didn't use nicknames for anything. If it was enemy, it was either numeric or a target to shoot down. Okay, very well. Very well. So, yeah, I'm kind of. How does chat feel about this? I personally am rather excited about this. You know, aircraft that have traditionally been FC3 level quality, they're pretty exciting to me. I think it'd be really, really fun to get our hands on this. It's also probably going to be the most modern Russian produced aircraft that we're ever going to get in DCS now. You know, due to current times. And that's almost certainly why DCS has chosen the export version of the MiG-29, because I suspect if they tried to make the Soviet/Russian version, that might not end very well for Eagle Dynamics developers who still reside in Russia. So I think they've probably had to go to this version as opposed to. I'm pretty sure their original plan was to do the native non-export version of the MiG-29A. But yep, nope. Sadly, we live in current times, and there's no way we're going to get anything more advanced and modern than this for the Russian side. Yes. Yeah, the MI8 is export version as well. Yeah, I'm aware of that, and I suspect it's for the same reason. Yeah, any Eagle Dynamics developers who still reside in Russia do not want to end up in a gulag or worse. So this is what we're getting, and I personally am super psyched for this because you still have you're definitely getting the R73 with this. Is my recollection. And of course, you can use the electro-optical targeting system. You can use the helmet-mounted sight. You know, once you get into dogfighting, once you get into within visual range combat, the MiG-29 is pretty lethal, even by modern standards. You can do off-bore sight firing of the missile. You can engage targets without alerting them via RWR. This is quite impressive. James Fenton, does the MiG-29 perform air-to-air refueling? My recollection is no, it does not. I don't think it ever did. I don't think there's any version of it that provides that functionality. Their solution in later versions of the MiG-29 was to put a larger fuel tank inside it. Like they're the ones with the sort of extended spine, which contained extra fuel. I don't think we get that in this version. I don't think it has the extra internal fuel capacity. Of course, you can carry drop tanks, as always, but once you're in the merge, you're going to have to drop those. So there you go, MiG-29A. I can say for my part, I am excited for this aircraft. I will definitely buy this. Tog, at least Eastern Europe still have a bunch of these old Soviet-era birds sitting around to work off of. Very glad to know they didn't just scrap them at the first chance. Yes, although they are getting more and more rare. Yeah, there are less and less of these aircraft. And I don't even know, do the Russians even still operate these? Because I'm not sure that they do in any version. I thought that they basically went to like a full flanker only fleet. But I could be wrong, of course. I don't remember. I'm actually going to very quickly check. No, they are still used by the Russian Air Force. It does list them as being in service. I wonder how many though. Operators. If we look at Russia, they have 70 MiG-29s. 15 of the SMTs, which I think is the vectored thrust ones. Yeah, and then some training aircraft. So not a very big number. And they still claim to have 24 MiG-29Ks, but what they're launching those off of, I don't know, because Kuznetsov is never operational. Okay, Christian Nathan, if anyone else is currently PC impaired, the brand new World War I multiplayer air combat simulator Fighter Wing 3.1 is free in PlayStation now. Cheers, not a bot nor paid endorsement, truly looking for pilots. That's fair enough. You know, we're all here enjoying flight simulation and, you know, we're always looking for friends to fly with. So I'm sure there are people who will take you up on that offer. Tog, I'd love to see a full fidelity Su-25T, but I'll bet both don't exist anymore. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if that aircraft exists anymore. Flegman, some MiG-29 can refuel in the air. Some can even refuel from MiG-29 to another plane. Okay, so you can do buddy refuel. Certainly not this version. It has no probe. Sim Taylor, howdy boys, finally made it to a live show. Been remiss here lately. Nice. Welcome aboard. Su-25A is still fighting daily in Ukraine. Yeah, I've seen those in action. But the T model, I don't even know if those exist anymore. Sim Taylor, from what I've seen, Kuznetsov is almost unseaworthy. Kuznetsov, I think, is still in dry dock as we speak, and even recently caught fire again, even though it's not even at sea anymore. So that's a death trap. I hope for Russian naval sailors' sake they never put that thing back in the water, because it's just going to kill people, and not on the opposing side. MiG-29 was outfitted for air-to-air refueling in 2018, says Stuart McLean. Thank you very much for the information. That's quite exciting. Tog. Kuznetsov was never seaworthy. Yeah, correct. Absolutely correct. That thing's just ridiculous. Okay, Afghanistan development report. The development of the DCS Afghanistan map is progressing on schedule with significant milestones achieved. We are committed to delivering a highly immersive and authentic representation of Afghanistan for virtual pilots to explore and engage in combat operations. Continued collaboration, testing, and refinement will ensure the map's successful completion and release to our DCS community. Maybe we can even fly over parts of Afghanistan from Metal Gear Solid 5. Wouldn't that be cool? I doubt that game is in any way accurate. Development progress. We've made substantial progress in recreating the diverse landscape of Afghanistan. This includes the rugged mountain ranges of Hindu Kush and the vast deserts of the Dasht-e and Dasht-e I apologize to all Afghans for my pronunciation. And the fertile valleys and river basins. Efforts have been dedicated to accurately portraying the unique cultural and urban features of Afghanistan. This involves recreating cities like Kandahar and Herat, with special attention to landmarks, infrastructure, and architectural styles. Like the Blue Mosque at Herat, aerial imagery has been utilized to enhance the realism and accuracy of the map. High-resolution satellite imagery is being integrated to provide authentic terrain textures and details. The diverse terrain and complex topography of Afghanistan has presented technical challenges due to large mountainous ranges. Optimization efforts are ongoing to maintain performance without compromising on visual fidelity, particularly in densely populated urban areas and detailed terrain features. The map is designed to look equally as good from low to high altitude. So, isn't that terribly exciting? JP Gibbons, RE, the MiG-29, the off-bore sight IR missiles were way ahead of Western tech. Yeah, that's my understanding. They're very, very impressive. Interesting story. Ward Carroll did a good video about the Kuznetsov. I've seen that one, along with actually a few others. There've been quite a few people who've commented on Kuznetsov. Frantic Stone, retrofitted. Did they add a simple fuel funnel? Just leave the filler caps off and put those little plastic funnels on, and then you have to fly very accurately and don't roll too hard. Pink Floyd, Afghanistan map comes with an in-game guarantee of winning every battle and losing every war. Fantastic. Stuart McLean, can't wait to fly in the Hindu Kush Mountains. Yeah, Spellsword 91. Snake! Oh dear. RW Hunt, people don't realize the US sells export versions of their planes to foreign sales. I think most people realize that. Actually, most of the American stuff, with the exception of F-22, is export variants are sold all around the world. F-16 perhaps being one of the best examples. Sim Taylor, but they didn't really have an airborne refueling option at the time either. Yeah, that's true. Yes. No problem at all, Krista Nathan. Tog, you can't exactly send the map designers to Afghanistan to get pics either. Well, no, you're gonna want to use the satellites, I think. I don't think you want to go to Afghanistan right now. Future plans. In the above screenshot, you can see the area of DCS Afghanistan that will be available in early access. The airfields that will be available at launch include Kandahar, Herat, Bost, Camp Bastion, Changacharan, oh no, this is where it's all going to go wrong. Diyer, Farah, Maimana, Zahiruddin. Oh, I need to speak to someone about how to pronounce all of this. Zahiruddin Farabi, Kalaino, Shindand, Tirinkot, and Zaranj. The focus will be on completing the detailing of terrain features, including rivers, roads, vegetation, rocks, small stones, ground clutter, and geological formations, to enhance immersion and realism. Extensive testing and optimization will be conducted to ensure optimal performance and compatibility with a wide range of hardware configurations. Please stay tuned for the pre-order coming soon. Sim Taylor, well, the US government probably has maps down to the square inch as long as they were there. Yep. Mark S. Enigma cynically calls it half Afghanistan. Well, it is half of the country, but that's just what we're getting at early access. Who knows how they'll expand it? Sim Taylor, US Geological Survey will give just about anybody maps of anywhere down to a certain level. We use military maps to drill oil wells in the US. That's impressive. And Spring Sale. Final hours. The DCS Spring Sale 2024 is your chance to grab massive 50% savings across almost our entire range of aircraft, terrains, tech packs, campaigns, and more. Please make sure that you do not miss out on this opportunity, and remember the DCS Spring Sale 2024 runs until the 24th of March 2024 at 1500 GMT. Sounds like Deepak won't be doing any voiceover work for Afghan campaigns. No, I'm sorry, I suck. Oh dear. Yeah, oh my, I don't know. Like, if I ask Google to pronounce some of this for me, what is it gonna say? I really don't know. Can I open in reading mode? No, that's not gonna do it. I wonder. This is this is not gonna work. This is surely not gonna work. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, it has no option to play that back. Yeah, that's about as bad as I was. So even Google can't pronounce any of this. Deary me, terrible stuff. So anyway, that's the newsletter for this week, complete with terrible pronunciation. So next bit of news that we have comes directly from Heatblur. They posted on their website on March the 17th of Delays and Silence Part 1. So this was, let me check actually, I think this was coming directly from Nicholas Deckard. Then there's a part 2 to this as well. I actually didn't realize initially. So yeah, we got an apology, and then we got a huge update here. There is so much stuff, honestly, in here that I can't possibly even scratch the surface. But the main thing is that we have a delay, unfortunately. It's looking like we're actually going to get, instead of being by the end of winter, it's actually going to be into spring. So let me actually double check, and what was it exactly he said here? Yeah, early spring with an absolute worst case scenario launch in May. He went on to describe the reasoning behind this and what has been happening. It's actually the Heatblur UI, which is what is like basically the major new feature that's coming with this module. It underpins Jester, the bombing tables, the in-game manual, and all kinds of other stuff. And so, of course, having this not work for everybody, I think he was saying something like 5 to 10% of testers had very, very bad performance with it, whereas for everybody else it worked perfectly. They couldn't release that way, unfortunately. So very, very sad. But that said, as I'm sure with most of you, I would rather they release it when it's ready. So more time to polish, more time to fix bugs like this. I'm really, really happy about that. And I'm glad they've taken this decision rather than just getting it out there, not pointing any fingers towards Eagle Dynamics with regards to the F-16C release. No, I said it all. I said the quiet bit out loud. Whoops. But yeah, they wanted to avoid something like that. Yeah, F4 move. Yeah, Frantic Stone called the delay. Yeah. Pink Floyd, we'll see if I was right and we get the LA7 before the Phantom. I think you may well be right. Frantic Stone, I'm the DCS savant. Yeah, Sim Taylor, like how Healer played that. Stood tall before the man, took their lumps, and were honest. Shit happens, they were honest and straight up about it. Totally agree. And as Spellsword91 says, May is not that far away. Yeah. I've not heard, maybe I'm not hanging around in the right cesspools of the DCS online community, but I've not heard too many people actually decry this. I think most people realize that this is the right choice, and are happy to wait until they get it fixed. So anyway, we have this two-parter here on the Heatblur website, which is great. They go into so much detail, and I like the way they do this, and then they give us the development update. So it's not all just issues. There are things that they've actually managed to do. They talk about multi-crew synchronization, flight model tuning, missions, and content. They say that the art is complete, which is not surprising given that we're so close to release. Looking very, very nice indeed. Systems are complete, they say, so that's also very, very impressive. And I guess they're continuing to work on optimization. And then there will be new features galore. So we're going to have a fully voiced interactive crew chief. That's really cool, at a first. A more fun and direct way of interacting with all ground crew elements. A new bombing calculator to calculate relevant figures in order to accurately attack ground targets using various bombing modes, and the ability to tell Jester about those values. An in-game browser allowing you to watch videos, use Olympus, peruse documentation, or just browse Hoggit on a long flight. Interactive manual and interactive tooltip feature. This one I think is amazing. Like, you can hold down a key and like hover your mouse over something in the cockpit, and you have a link that will take you straight to that section of the manual. Mind-blowing. We're getting a grease pencil and a few surprises here and there. I wonder what the Easter egg will be. I wonder if anybody remembers the Easter egg from the Tomcat where you could play Pong. Interesting story. That's right. They were making really, really cool shirts. JP Gibbons, twice the gigabytes than the F14. Mark S, I have about 20 modules to buy before I get the F4 anyway. Spellsword D91, this module puts many to shame with all the innovations it's bringing. Yes, I'm really excited. I'm going to buy this, and I'm really excited for how they've implemented it in the F4, but I'm even more excited for the backports that they're promising to at least the F14. I don't know how plausible some of these features are for the Viggen, but I know that they intend to bring at least some of it to the Viggen as well. Napalm. Yes, as I understand it, we are eventually getting Napalm, although I don't know if it's going to be here in early access. Sim Taylor, oh great, web browser in the jet. Now my guy in back is going to be reading Playboy online while I'm trying to fight the jet. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But yeah, here you go. Actually, an example of in-game Hoggit. And it's kind of amazing that Heatblur are implementing this, and it's not something that comes from the core sim. Like, these are the kind of features you would expect to come from Eagle Dynamics, but in fact it's Heatblur that once again deliver. They've delivered fantastic radar simulation in the F14 and now in the F4 and in the Viggen, in fact. And they're also donating this really up-to-date RWR simulation to the core sim. I don't know when Eagle will actually have that integrated, though. But super good, super good. And yeah, they were talking about Jester's vision algorithm. So, of course, he has an algorithm for, figuring out what things he can see and identify on the ground, but they're actually, of course, the radar in the F4 is so analog that you have to be able to pick out targets visually in the clutter. And so they've created an AI vision model for Jester so that he won't be like a cheat mode. He won't be able to see through clutter. He will have the same difficulty discerning targets from radar clutter that a human guy in back would, which I think is great. That's really, really good. So, in any case, lots of cool stuff going on. I recommend you all jump onto Heatblur's website and read through this article. But in the meantime, we actually have episode 3 from Heatblur. The start of it is our man Nicholas Deckard actually giving the kind of verbal version of his apology for the delay. I actually personally didn't find that very interesting. Like, I appreciate that he's being open and apologizing, but I don't care. I'm happy to wait. It'll be ready when it's ready. And I was mostly excited to hear them talking about the navigational systems and things like there's like a kind of flux pendulum, and like the tech in this aircraft is kind of old school but impressive all at the same time. Also fun seeing those chaff and flare buckets attached to the back of the pylons. It's a very old school approach to this. Sim Taylor, remember the famous photos of Gibbs reading training materials while in flight? Yeah, that's true. Anyone else worried about the F4's performance, asks Conrad. Well, actually, they address that in their development update. They did say that the average frame rate for the F4 is a little bit lower than some other modules, but that they're using this extra time just now to optimize. So they are hoping to get that improved before release. Razbam should learn some PR skills from Heatblur. Razbam don't have PR. What are you talking about, Pink Floyd? But yes, I do. I really, really like Razbam's products. I think they make some great aircraft, but they don't have any sales or marketing at all. They just do it all themselves. Look at this, complete with the start cart. Very, very nice. And we're going to have a ground crew chief that we can talk to. That's going to be brilliant. What Pink Floyd says, says Sim Taylor. Ah, yes. Yep, here they talk all about the magnetic field and I think it was called the flux pendulum or some such nonsense, mounted inside the end of one of the wings. It's a very interesting approach to doing this kind of thing. It does also have a very rudimentary INS, but I believe that quite a lot of the navigational instruments are actually just magnetic. So looking forward to the F4, says Sim Taylor. Yeah, me too. Just look at the detail in this thing. It's kind of incredible. And it's fun, having a guy in the back. If you can multi-crew and do this in multiplayer, it's so much fun. Always better to fly with a friend. I say that about the F-14, the F-15, the Gazelle, all these aircraft. It's always fun to have someone there with you. And it's how these aircraft were designed to be operated. The flux capacitor needs to be aligned, says Whiskey Dale. Indeed. And they even, they've simulated how it would operate above the 70th parallel, which is very, very interesting. Yeah. Next up for pre-order is the FFB Rhino in honor of the F4. Nice. And here we go. Yeah, inertial navigation system. This is quite an early aircraft to include an INS, so I can imagine that it's going to be a bit drifty. It's probably not amazing. I think the A4 has a very, very similar system. Am I right? Oh, did this just stop? No, oh, there we go. It just kind of, don't know what was going on there. Pink Floyd, indeed. Look at those textures. So yeah, I believe it's a fairly similar navigation computer / INS as the A4 had. And that system, of course, drifts a lot and can only maintain 2 waypoints at any given time. So you have to do a bit of flip-flop. It's a modern navigational system. It is not. That's for sure. But of course, with Jester or with a human Wizzo, you can definitely make it work. And yes, of course, with fix taking, you can improve the accuracy, much like in the Viggen. Only Napalm, I'd love to have the naval version of the F4. It is coming eventually, but probably much later. It'll be a while before we see that bad boy. So, yeah, episode 3 looking very, very fancy indeed. Yeah, really, really nice. And they're also talking about the fact that you can actually maintain 2 paper flight plans with Jester, and he'll kind of flip the waypoints in and out of the system in the correct order. So that's very, very nice to see. quite an impressive system. Yeah, I like what they're doing with Jester 2.0. It's a very, very nice system indeed. And of course, they've talked about it being fully customizable, and I shudder to think what the community is going to create in regards to custom Jester implementations with all manner of comedy voices selectable, I would think. Whiskey Dale, A6 module, Vietnam map. No news on the A6. It's probably quite some time away. And Vietnam map also no news. Nothing reported recently. So yeah, some more shuggling in the F4. Very, very nice to see. And yeah, they're saying that they're going to simulate all the navigational aids that it has. So you've got TACAN, VOR, ADF, ILS, the INS itself. So yeah, lots and lots of navigational things. Sim Taylor, seeing Jester navigate this beast is going to be interesting. Learning the navigation as a gib is going to be interesting, to say the least. Pink Floyd, what's the landing speed of the thing? Looking forward to some stormy landings. Well, you know, it has slats and flaps, so you know it's probably not insane, but I can imagine it's going to be fairly high speed landings in this thing. And there you go. That was episode 3 from Heapler Simulations. And that actually is all the news that I have for this week. I am very, very excited for the F4. And hey, you know, if we have to wait until May, no biggie. I'm sure we can manage that. So, I'm going to take this opportunity, as always, to pimp the VAF. But first, remember to subscribe, like, and comment. And also, if you want to, you can hit the join button below to become a member of Deepak's ground crew. I'll talk more about that later. But first, the VAF, or the Virtual Air Force, is a virtual online squadron originally founded by myself and dotChuckles many moons ago. We currently have squadrons for the Harrier, most importantly, the F-15, the F-16, the F-18. Am I forgetting any? Oh, and the F4. Although, of course, that squadron is not active yet. We are, however, recruiting for it. We also have generic squadrons for fixed wing and for rotary wing, so you can fly other types of aircraft. We fly every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. UK time. You can see the Discord link there in chat now or in the show notes below if you're watching after the fact. Go ahead and join our Discord. Everybody is welcome whether you fly with us or not, but we are, however, currently recruiting for pilots, air traffic control, mission makers, scripters, livery makers, everybody. We want everybody. Come join the VAF. It's a good, fun time. We currently only have European operations. We at one stage had some North American stuff, but we never managed to get enough pilots, sadly. So we are very much in UTC and CET for the most part. So those are the, yeah, it's mainly Europeans. 8 p.m. Sorry, I'm talking nonsense. Frantic is correcting me. 8 p.m. UK time, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Frantic is actually the commanding officer for the F-16 squadron. I'm the commanding officer for the Harrier squadron. And like I said, we also have F-15s, F-16s, F-18s. So go ahead and join us. It's a great laugh. Sim Taylor, sorry, US Navy version of the Phantom, unsure about the RN versions. The Royal Navy versions were completely different, so that may or may not be doable. Conrad, love the Harrier, even though the flight model fails somewhere between lead balloon and wet sponge. Yeah, well, it's, look at the aerodynamics of the thing. It has been designed to do stall and VTOL, so of course it doesn't really do high speed or great maneuverability, unfortunately. But the flight model's accurate. That's the way the real aircraft was. You do, of course, have VIFing, which you can use one time, and either you win or you die. So yeah. Sim Taylor, check out the F4S. Nice. Yeah, time changes are even worse. I agree. I have a lot of trouble with these things. So yes, that's the VAF. Now, I've been deep hack. Every Saturday, I put out a new tutorial video. Currently, the series is on the F-15E Strike Eagle. The next video will be the within visual range air-to-air radar modes. However, I don't know if I'll be publishing that next week because I will be away in Scotland. during which time I will in fact visit Frantic Stone and dotChuckles. So it might be a week or two before you see another video from me. If I get a chance, I'll record more videos in advance and publish them while I'm away. We'll see how that goes. But otherwise, yes, you'll see some more videos from me on the F-15 soon. Fluffy Hamster, hey Deepak, question, what advice do you give a new player who is also new to Sims, but also perhaps is dumb? Well, you can operate a computer and you're able to type words. I don't think you're dumb. What advice would I give? I think it's well worth choosing one aircraft that you find interesting and is full fidelity. Learn that aircraft, go through the in-game tutorials, they're often very, very good, and also watch YouTube videos, perhaps mine if I have a series on it, if not, somebody else. There's lots of really, really good content on YouTube where you can learn how to operate these aircraft and read the manual. Yes, practice, says Tog. And join the VAF. Yes, exactly. Fluffy Hamster, you could join the VAF. Depending on what aircraft you fly, it might be possible to learn with us. So, thank you very much, everybody who's already subscribed. If you want to further support the channel and help me in making these videos, you have the option of joining Deepak's ground crew for a small monthly fee, about the cost of a coffee per month. You can do that by pressing the join button below this video. I really appreciate those of you who've already done so. Thank you so much. There are some small benefits. You get to join the Deepak's Ground Crew Discord, and we also do some occasional flying together. And I'll probably think of other things in the future to offer to the ground crew to make it worth your while. You might get to see some of my videos early. I might ask for your input into what I do next, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, I really appreciate those of you who've already joined. Thank you very much. Auto Thrust. Wait, I'm going to have to cough first. My poor voice. Thank you very much, Auto Thrust, Byron Farrow, Storm Kimbari, Channel Wright, J.R. Walker, Chandler Hedgevald, Griff Nizzle, Mr. Yeti, Bread, Tier 0, Sean IM81, Charts, John Blur, Tea Kettle Barbecue, Whiskey Dale, Stuart McLean, Frantic Stone, AB, Tog, Ryan McGee, Pink Floyd, Paul Dillon, Colin Kelly, Mark S, Mangash, Springer11. I now need to refresh because more people actually joined during the course of the stream, and I don't want to miss anybody out. Sorry for the delay. We'll get to the end of the list in just a moment. There are so many that I had to hit refresh. We got as far as Springer11. Bacon Bomb, Nor, Paul Cope, Frederick Leistron, Mike Delta, Matt, Redcoat 841, Stiggy Wiggy, Ised Pierre, and Eric Johnson. Thank you very much, all of you, for being Deepak's ground crew members. Yeah, stick to one aircraft. I think that's like the biggest advice I can give, because it's too easy to be taken in by multiple aircraft. Oh, and Chuck's Guides, yes, a very, very good one to go for. Yeah, nice. Anyway, I've been Deepak. I post a new video every Saturday, normally, when I'm not on vacation, and that's followed by the DCS news, which just happens to be this thing, what you're watching right now. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. Fly safe, and I'll see you all next time. Ta-ta!